Okay, so more related rates, the gift that keeps on giving. I had a request to do some problems with angle measurements. So here are the two problems that I'm going to do, so you can pause the video and read them. So I actually think these are like the same problem if you know how to read them. And so part of doing these related rates is like being on the journey. So let's go on a journey. Okay, so a particle is moving along the curve y equals 3x squared in the first quadrant. So the x-coordinate is increasing by a rate of 15 meters a second. How fast is the angle of inclination theta of the line joining the origin to the particle changing when x equals 1? Okay, so this is the first quadrant here. So here's the graph, y equals 3x squared in the first quadrant. And then there's this line that connects the origin to where our particle is. And we're talking about the moment where x equals 1. So here's where x equals 1, okay? And so I'm interested in then this theta made by, like, from this pink line down to this axis here. So that's what they mean by the angle of inclination. And so this changes, this line will change its angle as this little point here moves up or down the curve. Okay, so that's what we're talking about here. But the theta is like all of this, so from the pink line to the x-axis. So first things first. Okay, so we got to think about theta. So with theta we need a right triangle. So I've kind of marked here, so here's like the sides of this right triangle, and so we can call these sides x and y. So the first thing that you want to think about, given the information that we have in this problem, what is the best trig function to kind of go along with this situation? So you need something with theta, and you've got an x and a y. So this is really the opposite and the adjacent sides. So that's going to be tangent, right? So we're going to use this tangent equals y over x, kind of from the picture that we've drawn. But we can go a little deeper with this because we know that y is equal to 3x squared. So I can actually just plug that in for my y. So now I've got this tangent theta equals 3x squared over x. So I literally just plugged in the y function, and then of course you can simplify this. So then this just becomes 3x. So here's actually the situation that we have in this particular problem. Okay. Now, before we go any further, like we're kind of at a point where we're ready to take a derivative here and start getting into like these rates. And of course, you're gonna have to take a derivative at some point, right? Now, before you take the derivative, the thing I hope you've kind of figured out in these videos is you figure out your situation, and then you figure out what is actually changing, because maybe you need to plug in a constant if something is not changing. So this particle will just continue to move right up and down the curve. So really x and y are going to be changing, and then of course theta is going to continue to change. So the thing I just want to note here is that all three of these variables are changing, and I know I replaced my y with this 3x squared, but I just want to kind of note it. Like everything in this problem is going to be constantly changing. So when we talk about this moment at x equals 1, that's just a moment in time, and then like in another moment everything's going to change again. So because of that, you want to make sure then you don't plug anything in, right? Okay, so now we can go ahead and take the derivative just of everything with respect to time. So taking the derivative of the left and right side, so I get secant squared theta d theta dt, and then 3dx dt. So I just took the derivative of each side. Okay, so all right, now we've got our derivative, and so normally this is now where we should just be able to plug things in and be good to go. But this is where your journey can really happen or start. So think about this. First things first, what you've got like a theta, d theta, dt, dx, dt. Which one of these are you trying to solve for? And maybe you want to pause the video for a second just to like figure that out. So always take a moment just to collect yourself. What am I trying to solve for? So I want to solve for this d theta dt, because it says how fast is the angle of inclination. So this fast that implies a rate, and then the angle of inclination theta. So that's talking about the rate for this d theta dt. So this is what we want to solve for. Okay, which would hopefully mean then that everything else in the problem we can just plug in, right? That's the ideal outcome. So here, dx dt, that's in the problem, this 15 meters a second, because the x-coordinate is increasing by this. Okay, cool, so that's 15 meters a second. But dun dun dun, what do you do with this theta? So we don't have anything about the actual theta, right? So this is the unknown. And so now this is how you know you're going on a journey now. So now you've got to dig a little deeper and really think about what can you figure out about this. So first things first, I know that secant is equal to 1 over cosine. And then if I think about cosine, cosine is really the adjacent over the hypotenuse, right? So here's my theta. So if I try to think about adjacent over hypotenuse, so as it stands, I don't know what the hypotenuse would be, but I could probably come up with some information for the adjacent. Okay, but let's also think about this situation. So we're interested in a particular moment in time. So we're interested in the moment of time where you have x equal to 1. And so if I'm now trying to bring this cosine into this, like what I'm getting at is that like we can use the Pythagorean theorem to kind of figure out what's happening now with this little triangle at this moment when x equals 1. So now I'm going to bust this out where this h squared stands for this pink hypotenuse. And we want to think about the moment in time. So the moment in time that I'm interested in is when x equals 1. So when x equals 1, I definitely know x, and then I also can figure out y, right? Because I can just plug in x equals 1 into my function. So the way that this would kind of work itself out then would look like this. So here's 1, here I am plugging 1 into my function. So I can just solve all of this and get to my h. So if I work all this out, so I get 1 plus 9, so that comes out to 10. So then my h is going to equal to the square root of 10. And so now I can take that information and put it all in there. So I know what the adjacent side is. So the adjacent is this 1. We're talking about the moment in time. And then this now is going to be the square root of 10. Okay, so let's like filter all of that information, everything we just talked about. Let's now put it back into here. So first things first. So we're talking about the cosine of theta equals 1 over the square root of 10. Okay, now remember, where we're trying to actually plug this in is into this secant squared theta. So I actually don't even have to figure out the angle. I already kind of, like, I can basically get to this. So if I know that secant theta is equal to 1 over cosine of theta, and I know what cosine of theta is, so really secant theta will just be equal to the square root of 10, right? Which would mean that secant squared theta will be equal to the square root of 10 squared, i.e. secant squared theta equals 10. So I was actually able to do this whole problem without having to ever figure out what theta is, which is nice. So now going back to this, I didn't know what theta was, but I figured out what all of this was. This whole thing is just 10. If you got questions about that, feel free to leave me a comment. But that is an argument that you might want to pause and kind of think through and take your time to get through, because there's kind of a lot of details there. Okay, so now I really have everything that I need for this whole problem. So if I now replace this problem with all the numbers, so we've got 10 d theta dt equals 3 times 15. Okay, cool. So then d theta dt is going to equal 45 over 10, and so then that's just going to be 4.5 meters a second. So then there you go. Okay, so moving on to this other one. So the sun is shining over a building, creating a shadow, and the building is 88 feet tall. The shadow behind the building is 66 feet long. The angle theta that the sun makes with the ground is changing at this rate 0.00436 radians per minute. What is the rate that the shadow is decreasing? Okay, so I highly recommend, if you're trying to understand this, that you actually try to do this one on your own. So first things first, why don't you pause and draw the picture to the best of your ability, like with theta and the building and everything. Okay, so here's the building and the shadow, and here's where your theta is. So what I would recommend now is, how are you going to like, what is the right equation for this, I guess? So maybe try to think of the equation that's going to model theta around the information that we have. And then I also want you to think about what variables are changing. So if you're struggling with this problem, pause here, try that, and then hit play. Okay, so in this example, so this side's going to be my x, this side's going to be my y. So really it's the same thing as the last problem. So we've got tangent of theta equals y over x. But in this case, there's nothing to change y with. And then when I think about this, so the side of the building is not going to change. So this is why I always think about what's constant and what's not. So the side of the building is not going to change, but the angle here and the length of the shadow are going to change. So we want to reflect that in our problem then. So I'm going to plug in the height of the building into this. So here we go. And now I'm really ready to take my derivative. So I want to just rearrange this so that I can make it easier to take my derivative. So here's what I'm going to take the derivative of, again, with respect to time. So this is going to be secant squared theta d theta dt equals negative 88 over x squared dx dt. So there's everything. So here's the situation that we've got. And so once again, like after you take this derivative, just take a second to regroup and ask yourself, what am I doing? So for instance, this dx dt, this is what we want to find. So what I hope is that everything else in this problem, I have something to plug in for it. So like this d theta dt, we're good, right? That's this right here. And then I actually realized I forgot to do one for x, but for x squared, that's the shadow, right? So we're talking about a particular moment when the shadow is this long. And okay, so the one thing I don't know, just like the last problem, I don't know this theta here. So again, we have to figure this out. Now what I would recommend is that you pause the video here and try to see if you can figure this out this time and solve the rest of the problem. And then hit play when you're ready. So, okay, so going back to the same explanation I had in the last one. So I know that cosine is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. So using that, I need to figure out what my hypotenuse is. So I've got my x squared plus y squared equals h squared. So in this case, this is just going to be the building and then the shadow. So plug all that in. I get that my h is going to be equal to 110 when I go through all the work to solve this. And so now I can really plug in, I've got my adjacent and my hypotenuse, so I can plug in those pieces of information. But remember, we're talking about secant. So secant is 1 over cosine, so I really just need to take the reciprocal of this. So for my secant squared, then I just take 110 over 66 squared. And so now I have really everything that I need to plug in to this problem here. And okay, so here's the situation. Sorry, I just showed like the whole solution. So plugging in everything that I know now, here's all the stuff that we talked about plugging in. So if I want to get to dx dt, so here's kind of how everything will simplify. So here's what I'm going to kind of plug in for my calculation. So if I just do the math on this, I get negative 0.5995, which is great, right? Because it said that the rate should be decreasing. So this should be negative. So there's my rate. So here's where it's decreasing at. So we're all good to go. So very, very similar to the last one. So hopefully this was helpful. If it was, it's always great when you guys leave me a comment or leave me a like or subscribe. And if you guys have other questions, you're always welcome to ask. I'm more than happy to entertain them. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you, not watch you. That'd be creepy, huh? I'll catch you next time.